Hi, Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. It's a beautiful but cold fall day. Getting pretty much past the mid part of October here in 2021. And as you can see, the wind is blowing, knocking all the leaves down, and getting ready for winter. Autumn is done, fall is on the way, and we're in the full swing of it. The secret to trading a small account. What's that all about? Well, let's take a walk up the hill and talk about that. Actually, I'm out to walk the bow dog. There's the bow dog, and I don't know if he's going to stay with me because Sue is gone, and he's going to want to sit on the stairs and look for her. But in any event, we'll walk through the woods, see if we can stand the cold air here in New England, and talk a little bit about trading a small account and how that all goes together. Look, you know, most of the folks out there that are talking about trading a small account are trying to show you how to grow a small account into a large account. And in order to do that, you're going to have to take more risk. You're going to have to take 5 to 8% per trade, when, boy, you better not be doing more than 2%. And when you get a lot of money you're trading, you can risk 0.5% or 1/4% of your account, and you still make $400 or $500 a day. So, if not more, because your account's so big, right? But the whole point of the thing is you're not trying to make a small account into a big account, because you can't. There's too much risk involved in it unless you're really, really experienced. If you don't know about Larry Williams, he's a tremendous writer. He does commodities, and he's had several challenges where he's taken small accounts and built them up into really significant sized accounts. In fact, his daughter, I think on 2 occasions, I know one for sure, took a $10,000 account and ran it to $100,000 in, I think it was a year or 14 months or something like that. So now $10,000 is not really a small account in the eyes of most traders. I think you get to a pretty decent sized account when you're up around $30,000 to $100,000. You're talking about a good size account, and once you go over $100,000, you're in a huge account from a retail trader standpoint. So I suppose $10,000 is, you know, it's a small account. But by small account, I'm talking about you know, someone who's trading mini lots. Like if you got a $3,000 account or a $5,000 account or something like that, you trade 3 minis or 5 minis or something. You might even be willing to put up $10,000. But you know, if you don't have a lot of experience and you're not consistent in your trading, you really have no business trading a $10,000 account. You should be down trading a $1,000 mini account at $1 a point and learning your craft. Because if you don't do that, man, you're just going to be in a world of shit. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you. So when most folks are talking about trading a small account, they're trying to show you how to trade that small account in order to make it a big account, because they don't give you any credit for being able to come up with any money. I mean, it's a sad thing in the United States anyway today. They did a survey, and it would be very difficult for something like 80% of the population to come up with $400 in an emergency. And a more detailed study said that in a medical emergency or something like that, that it would be almost impossible for most of the folks to come up with $2,000 even in a month period of time. So, I mean, I think that's sad, but a lot of these guys that are teaching trading are trying to get you to open an account with $100 or $300, and you know, you're just not gonna be successful. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna jump up and down and get excited about making $5 a day? Come on, it's not gonna happen, because you're not in there for that. If you're that broke, you know, you want to have a lot of money. and you want to make a lot of money. Well, you're not going to do it on a $3,000 account. You're just not. Even if you had a $10,000 account, you're not going to make a lot of money. You know, if you could make 40% a year on your money, which would be really great, and that's achievable. I mean, some folks can do that in a few months. But if you could do 40% on a $10,000 account, it's $4,000. That's going to change your lifestyle. You're not looking to make $4,000 a year. You're looking to make $40,000 a year, and you're not going to fucking do it on a $10,000 account. I'm just telling you. You might make $40,000 a year on a $100,000 or $150,000 account, but you're not going to do it on a $10,000 account. So the issue becomes, the most important issue of the secret of trading a small account is not to try to make it a big account. That's not in the program. If you think you're going to do that, you're going to lose your money. Please don't call me. I have no sympathy for you. And that's one reason why I don't teach beginners, because beginners have this crazy notion in their head. Let me get it away from the sun here. This crazy notion in their heads that they're going to take a small account and they're going to be able to quit their day job. Well, you know, go find some fool with the chains around his neck and the ball cap on backwards that trades at 200 to 1 or 500 to 1 leverage, and see what you can do with that 500 bucks. See how many times you reload that account with 500 bucks until you go, look, man, I can't do this. Then give me a call. But don't give me a call until you're going to be able to put at least $1,000 into that account, so that I can teach you the principles of trading. And it's that learning of principles that's going to allow you then to sell your truck or to get a second job or whatever you need to do to get together $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 and start trading, so the money becomes significant and it can start to impact on your income. I mean, look, if you're making $25,000 a year, then for you to be able to get a $15,000 account, that's going to be a really big deal. But you can do that by buying an old junk car and fixing it up and then rolling that into another one. Look, I had a friend of mine who went broke. I mean, he was very wealthy. He had a boat. He had a cashmere coat. He had a Mercedes. He had a large motorcycle dealership, and he sold it. He had just a ton of money and ran into a lot of trouble and just lost everything. But he knew cars, and it took him a while, but he borrowed some money. He got together, I think it was $250. He went out and bought, this is like 30 years ago, and he bought a beater car, and for a couple of $100 he put 50 bucks into it, and he fixed it up, got it running, and he sold it for 400, and then he went out and bought another one, and he sold that one, and he made a couple of $100 on that one. And then he went out and bought 2 of them, fixed those up, and in 10 years he was a millionaire again, just starting small and scrapping it together. But he knew what he was doing. You think you're going to take a $10,000 account and run that to $100,000? It's not going to happen. You're not. You might take a $30,000 account and run that to 100. That's more reasonable. But if you're making $25,000 a year, where are you going to get $15,000 or $20,000? You're not going to get that from your trading. You're going to have to get that from some other source. But in the meantime, you don't want to be putting at risk $15,000 or $20,000 into the currency market if you're not already successful at it. You're not going to try to learn on a job with a $15,000 account. Don't be stupid and do it like I did. You know, I did all the shit that these guys teach out there, and I trusted them. I mean, I was a millionaire in real estate, and you trust the people that are teaching you the real estate. I did real estate for 40 years and retired a millionaire based on my real estate, not working my job as a software engineer. I mean, I made a lot of money as a software engineer, but that didn't provide me the money to retire. It was the investment, it was the real estate. Long-term thing. But when I started out, I had people that were telling me stuff that was legit. I read books and took courses that was legit. Man, you can't do that in the currency market. 40% of the stuff, 60% of the stuff that's out there is gibberish. Oh, man. I'm an educator. I've been educating people in martial arts for over 50 years. I know how to teach. I know how to do all that stuff, and I can look at this stuff and it doesn't make any sense. And one of the things that makes the least sense of all is to tell somebody that they're going to take a small account and gradually build that over time so that they'll have a large account and be able to replace their income. Now, you can make, if you had a $25,000 account, you could probably make somewhere between 150 and maybe 200 bucks a day, 100 to 200 bucks a day. But you really have to know what you're doing. You're not going to start out and do that. You're going to be lucky to jump ball at the end of the year. Anyway, I'm off track. I'm on a rant. Sorry. So the first thing, and the secrets of trading a small account, is don't trade that account to make it into a big account. There's two secrets to trading a small account. One is that the goal is to be making money consistently, not making a lot of money. You're making money consistently on that small account. The second is just to try to average 5 pips a day when you trade. Just 5 pips. You don't have the skill to make 10 pips. You don't have the skill to make 20 pips. Make 5 and be happy with 5. Look, you're trading a $1,000 account, that's $5 a day. You trade 3 days a week, you make 15 bucks a week, 30 bucks every 2 weeks, 60 bucks a month. Go 10 months, that's $600. That's a 60% return on your money because you're not trying to compete with the big boys. You're not risking 30 pips. You're going to take a short entry-level stop. And once you get past it, once you learn the skill that you don't get bumped out from that short stop, you learn what not to do so that you don't get bumped out. So then now you learn what to do in order to trail the stop behind and let the profits go. And as long as you can protect 5 pips, you're going to be fine. And you're trading a small account. I mean, what are you going to do? You trade a $1,000 account, you make 30 pips a day? You're going to make 3% on your account? Well, I don't think so. I mean, you could try. It's not out of the unlikelihood, but if you try to make 30 pips every day so that, you know, you're just taking too much risk. And you're expecting that account to grow from a dollar standpoint. Don't. 5 pips a day, it's 0.5% on your account. Are you making 0.5% on your money in the bank? Are you making 0.5%? What are you making in the bank? You're making 0.5% a year maybe? I don't know. You know what? I'm cold. So let's go in. The bow is ready to go in. He's cold. It's really cold out here. We're going in. All right, I'm in. I made a cup of coffee. Well, that's good. It's cold. So, the secret to trading a small account is to be consistent with the amount of money that you make on a daily or weekly basis that you trade, as opposed to thinking about the amount of money that you're making. But when you're trading a small account, you have to learn to trade by pips and not by money. You don't want to trade for $5 a day, you want to trade for 5 pips on that $1,000 account. Because when you get a $10,000 account, it becomes 50 bucks, right? And when it becomes a $100,000 account, it becomes $500 a day on the trading. And so, you know, you can make $500 a couple of times a week, $4,000 a month, there's your 40 grand a year. But it's based on that $100,000 account. So maybe you make $400 a year on that small account. A $1,000 account, and that's making it $400. That's fine, you know. But the point of the thing is that you're not thinking about it in terms of $400. You're thinking about it in terms of 400 pips for the year. You're not thinking about it as $5 a pip. You're thinking about it in terms of 5 pips. And I will guarantee you that if you can learn to think in terms of pips instead of the dollars, you'll be a lot more successful in the long run. Now, coming out of a real estate background where we're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars per deal, and then you go in and renovate, you got to renovate an apartment, and you're spending $3,000 to renovate an apartment between leases. I mean, those are significant amounts of money. And so nobody ever told me this when I got into currency trading. I was thinking, I'm going to trade a big account and I'm going to make a lot of money because it's just percentages. But it doesn't work that way. And there's a lot of reasons. I spend a lot of time when I talk with people in consulting sessions and stuff about how you have to view the markets and the money that's involved in order to be successful and then not to get wrapped up with the wrong target goals in mind. You're not trying to make, you know, $500 a day. You're just trying to make 5 pips. Let the rest of it take care of itself by the size of your account. So it's consistency in trading that small account that's going to do the most for you. And you know, the ability to do that is based on the second secret, which is to have a very, very tight stop. If you're trying to make 5 pips a day, then your stop is 5 pips. I mean, again, we're talking about, in my instance, you're going to have to extrapolate this stuff depending on the currency pair that you choose. But the currency pair that I have has a 5-minute ATR of 5 pips. So 5 pips is great. 5 pip stop, that's great. Or an 8 pip stop. I use an 8 pip stop, which is an ATR and a half. But if you're trading up on the daily charts, it's 100 pip ATR. Do you want a 150 pip entry stop? You see, so things tend to break down. But the methodology of how you size the stop in relationship to where your target is and all that, that's a conversation that is a critical point of any of the training that I provide for someone in a course, or whether they're doing consulting or whatever with me. But the long and the short of the deal is that everything that I talk about is based on a 5-minute ATR, 5-minute chart, 8 pip stop, and 5 pips a day. And you have a good win-to-loss ratio, then it all goes together. But the win-to-loss ratio is based on pips, it should be, and not on dollar amounts. Because it's easy to convert the dollars later. If I'm trading $1,000 on my account, it's $1 a pip. If I'm trading $10,000, it's $10 a pip. If I'm trading $100,000, it's $100 a pip. If I'm trading $200,000, it's $200 a pip. Okay, so you just have to be rational about the power that your little $3,000 account is going to have. It doesn't have any power. So don't try to swing for the fence with it. Build consistency at developing that, and you'll find that money at some point, by selling a car, by selling a house, by getting a second job, inherit some money. I don't know how you're going to do it. But if you're right living and right thinking in your life, good things will happen for you. You can't be an asshole. At some point, whether that's a year from now or 10 years from now, you'll have the ability to have $30,000. I don't know where it's going to come from, but it will. And when you have that $30,000, now you've got enough money where the money that you can generate from that might buy your food for the year. That might make your car payments. That might be, you know, half of your Social Security or a third of your Social Security. You know, the average Social Security today in 2021 or 2020, I think, was $1,500. I think that's skewed a little high. Because, you know, if you add in all the high people with all the low people, you get a higher average than if you look at the median. And I'd say that probably the median Social Security is a little over $1,000, probably $1,200 a month. And so if you can make $500 a month, which is, I mean, you know, you make 5 pips a day, there's 20 trading days. So, trading a $10,000 account, you know, you get $500 a month. That's 50% of your Social Security. So if you're just hanging on by your ears, that's a tremendous amount of money. Now, for most folks, they say, "Oh, $500 a month, man. I spend that now on my Lexus payment, rental." Well, don't have a fucking Lexus, okay? The average car payment in the United States today is over $500 a month. I think it's $550 a month. That's crazy. This is crazy. You have to look for your priority, because if you don't, then when you have that little account, you're going to try to make it big. And you're going to take too much risk. And you may do okay, because statistically, you may run into those 6 winners in a row. 6 losses in a row, too. But you won't remember those. But you'll remember those 6 winners, and then you're going to really press it on that 7th or 8th or 10th trade, and it'll blow your ass right out of the water. Take your account right to the wood. The secret to trading a small account is that you don't trade for the money. You trade for the pips. Have a short entry stop, and be sure that you're consistent in the rules that you develop for yourself to build that 5 pip a day or whatever if you're working on a 5-minute chart where the ATR is 20 pips, you might get 40 pips a day. I mean, I don't know. But then you're correspondingly going to have to take a larger risk too, right? So you're going to have to learn how to balance this stuff out. And there are no secrets. It just makes sense. You just need somebody to tell you what should make sense and what shouldn't, right? Otherwise, some damn fool there screaming into his mic about how he's going to make you rich, and some asshole out there, all you got to do is make 2% a day compounded, and in 14 months you'll be a millionaire starting with $1,000, or I don't know, whatever the hell it was that he started with. He's lying. And that's what they do out there. A lot of the guys, they lie to you because all they want is your money. They'll tell you they're going to get you a free course, or they're going to get you this for free, or whatever, and all they're trying to do is set you up to get to sell. So that you can sell you a course, sell you whatever they're going to sell you. They won't do consulting with you because they're fucking stupid. They wouldn't know what to tell you. But they'll sell you a course. And then when you're not successful with it, or when you find out that 99% of that course you could have found on Baby Pips for free, or go to Udemy and buy 6 video lessons for $50 on Forex trading. That's great. Well, that's all they're going to sell you. I'm going to charge you $2,000 for that. It's not worth $2,000. Not worth $20. But be happy that you're trading. Be happy that you've got a couple of $1,000, that you could trade 2 minis, and that you're learning. And there's nothing wrong with being a hobby trader. It's the greatest puzzle to solve in the world. Why wouldn't it be okay just to have your little account and you make a couple of $300 a year, $400 a year? What's wrong with that? Nothing. Nothing. Because it's a lot of fun. And that $400, if the $2,000 or whatever it is, that's all the money in the world you can come up with, wouldn't $400 be great? I mean, that's a $40 a month pay increase. What is that? $40 a month is $5 a week pay. 420. No, $10 a week increase in your pay. 20 cents, whatever it is. That could be some big money for you. And for someone who's got a lot of money, you're a millionaire. What would be wrong with trading a $3,000 account and having fun, playing in the greatest game on planet Earth, and learning how to beat that without risking thousands and thousands of dollars? You screw it up, you reload that account, and play again. And someday when you're ready to say, hey, you know what, I've been doing really good with this little account, I think I'll drop $40,000 in there and trade that. And you should be able to make the same percentage gains, because if you've learned consistency in your trading, that's what will happen. I promise you that. You just need somebody to show you how to do this and put it together so that it makes sense from a realistic standpoint, instead of listening to some fool talking out of the window of his McLaren as he's driving down the highway, right? Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day. Have a great trading day.